Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Matt Bisaccio, and today we're going to be joined by Assabet Valley softball coach Mike O'Brien. Coach, thank you very much for spending a couple of seconds with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before when we had spoke, I'd gotten a brief sense of your baseball history and how that impacted you growing up. If you could just kind of explain to us from the beginning how you came up through baseball and how that kind of translated into you becoming a softball coach.
Yeah, I mean, my father, taught me the game at a young age, and he had played. My grandfather played, and then I went to St. Peter Marion, played under Coach Davis, who was a Hudson native, and then played Legion ball and got a scholarship to play at University of New Haven, and played down there 4 years in a little independent ball. Got paid to play for a year, and then after that, looked into whatever I wanted to do, and I thought teaching and coaching was something that I really was interested in, and got a job offer helping out Worcester State baseball. Coach Baker, who I had previously known prior to that. So coached 7 years with Worcester State baseball. Turned the program around with Coach Baker. It gave me a great opportunity, a lot of travel. We went to the first NCAAs, and back at the time was over 40 years. So, brought my type of intensity with his intensity, and it really worked out great. It was a great mixture. So that's what kind of led me here, and softball job opened up here, and I said, well, I'll try it. I've played men's softball and all this other stuff, so, and been fortunate to be able to say that we did take the job.
Now, you played baseball your entire life. How does a baseball man handle himself in game as far as like softball is concerned? Is there a lot of difference? Have a lot of your experiences in baseball helped you at this point? Was there a learning curve?
Yeah, there definitely was a learning curve, especially with the pitching aspect. I also had to pull back my ego because, we were always taught hit the long ball, get the doubles to the gap. We have a saying, shop at the gap, to left center, right center. So we did that the first couple of years, but I was noticing we were striking out a lot. And we still had a great record. We had turned the program around, the coaching staff and myself. But I noticed that we weren't putting in a lot of balls in play. So we had to change to small ball. Learned how to slap hits, bunt. We call bunt for perfection, down the lines, being able to bunt at angles. And I think that really, really turned the corner for us because we always stress pitching and defense, but now putting the ball in play, it put more pressure on the other team to make the plays rather than us to make the plays.
What do you think the biggest challenge is for a man that came from baseball now teaching girls? Was there anything like that you had any type of difficulty with?
Well, I think girls are just as passionate, but I think they show their emotions. So when I was first taking over, there would be joy of jumping and laughter, and it was unbelievable. And then the next day they'd be crying, and I didn't know how to handle that type of emotional roller coaster, to say the least. When I was coaching at Worcester State, or when I was playing, we expected to win. It wasn't too much celebratory type of games, unless it was to get into winning the MASCAC or getting in the NCAAs. So when I came here and I saw all the emotion, it was difficult to handle and kind of put it together because I'm also an emotional coach. I like to, reward a player that does something well, but also like to kind of, how do I want to say in a nice way, if they do something wrong mentally, to instruct them in a loud voice that may not be suited for them. So
sometimes a firm voice is something that people aren't accustomed to, whether they be boys or girls. So I could see with that.
Absolutely, that's something that I always said it's been better now, but a lot of the parents previous to what we have now, they grew up with what's called the OK disease. Okay, I know you didn't field that ball and didn't throw it to the pitcher and didn't run and didn't hustle. That's okay. And so we kind of got rid of that mentality because it's not. The other kids on the field are working just as hard. Coaching staff's working just as hard. So we kind of got rid of that type of philosophy. It's not okay. because someone out there is doing something that you should be doing, and you have the opportunity to be doing. So that's kind of what we've put into place here at Assabet.
Now, your relationship with the girls when you first started, you had noticed it in yourself that you were having a difficult time dealing with the emotions. That's something that somebody else kind of told you about. And did you tap into somebody else for advice on how to deal with that?
I went right to my mother. No lie. And my my father, I go to wisdom when they says, hey, sometimes I'm having a little difficulty, handling some type of situations, and it wasn't as a big a deal. Should I put this down? My mom said, no, let him go, let him be. I go, that's what you've always wanted. You wanted to be that type of enthusiasm for the game, and so we've kind of let him go when it comes to that. And I even want more because we have a big thing. If our bench kids or people that don't play, I've seen other things, and you see Little League, they'll have batting practice for an hour and a half, and you get these kids sitting around that aren't doing anything. Well, our bench, they're not spectators. I want them involved. There's so much going on in the game. It could be punt, signs. Are they picking up what base runners are doing? Foul balls. Are they warming up the outfield? So there's so many different aspects to be a part of. Are they ready to be pinch hit? Are they ready to be in the game? So there's so many mental aspects that are there that we expect out of them. I've been known to ask them to leave the dugout if they don't want to get involved. So if they want to be a spectator, go be a spectator.
Has the ownership of that process helped to facilitate a winning product on the field?
Yeah, 100%. I think the kids now, the players now know what to expect out of the program. Like I said, previous to this year, we had been 5 straight finals. We had won the district title 3 in a row and won a state title. And with up until this day, we're the only vocational school for baseball or softball to win a state title. So we're really proud of that, but it takes hard work. It takes that discipline aspect, and that's from the coaching staff too. We have the thing, the sky is purple. So, I told my coaching staff that, Coach Armento has been with me for 8 years, my father, the sky's purple. So, and he looked at me and says, what are you, crazy? It's blue, it's got some clouds in it. I says, listen, if I say the sky's purple, you say the sky's purple, assistant coach says the sky's purple, before you know it, the whole team believes the sky's purple. So that's kind of a philosophy that we want to bring to the kids.
You have had a successful program here now for 5-6 years. Has that success made your job more or less difficult?
I would say it's probably definitely more difficult. I think other teams, not only in our league, but out of league, they want to, come rise to the challenge to beat us. And so when we get beat, they're celebrating that. Twitter, Instagram, it's easy to put photos up, so they get photos and W's and everything like that. So do we take offense to it? Sometimes. We get a chance to play again, and we're going to use it as motivation. Belichick is the king of that, and so why wouldn't we? So, but it's also given us a great chance to play other teams, to play Doherty High School, out of league schedule, Holy Name, Algonquins, Hopedales, and, in the near future, Turner's Falls, who's unbelievable. We're going to be playing them hopefully next year for a home and away. We'll see if we can get that with them, and that's a great opportunity for these girls.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, great.
Excellent.
That's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner. We'll see you next time.